Joining us now in Studio B, jamming with Juddy. Tips off once again the head basketball coach of BYU women's basketball, former NBA hoopster, college star, Jeff Judkins. Welcome back, Coach.
Thanks, Vince. Nice to be back.
You brought some hardware with you, and we're going to go there first. West Coast Conference championship rings. Show us the goods, man. Show the world how awesome that thing is. It's got a white backdrop with a blue stretch Y. Really cool stuff. How come
real nice.
How come you're not wearing yours?
Probably because I got a wedding ring. Yeah. No, I have all my rings, and I've kind of got them in an order, and I'm going to get a little like trophy case that I put them all in. My kids like to come home and look at them, and it brings a lot of great memories. When you see a ring and you remember the year, you think about all the good times that you had together, and it's kind of special.
You guys didn't want to put any diamonds in those?
I know I don't know if there's any in there, but I know there's a few in some of them. When we got to the Final Four at Utah, they did. When we got to the final game, it was a pretty nice ring. And so I think the farther you get, the farther you advance. I mean, it's not a Super Bowl ring, but it's a really nice ring. I mean, these rings are first class. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
You got some new jewelry, obviously, but how are you feeling overall after the offseason as you approach another basketball season?
Well, there's a lot of new faces, and practice is trying to get them to figure out what's going on. It's hard for a coach. People don't realize you got these players that have been with you for 3 or 4 years that understand everything, and then you got other kids that don't, and you have to kind of, if you go too slow, they get bored. If you go too fast, the other new kids are way behind, and they just feel overwhelmed with everything that's going on. So you have to kind of balance it out and try to do a good job. But I'm excited. I think we're going to have a fun team to watch. We're quicker than we were last year. Purcell is what everybody thought she was going to be. She's a very, very good player. I really like our freshmen, the 3 freshmen I have. They're going to be good. And then, of course, a lot of the old kids have gotten better. I think Lexi's improved and trying to work on her game. And Mackenzie has, had a great tournament, and she's bouncing off that. And Kylie's gotten stronger. And so it's going to be I think it's going to be a real positive thing. We have a hard schedule. I don't know who's scheduled all that stuff, but we have a hard schedule.
Yeah, what in the world were you thinking?
I know what I was thinking.
You had no part in that?
I know. I had a little part.
No input.
Yeah, I had a little input. But I don't know. I guess this year I wanted to play a really good schedule and get our RPI. If we win some games, it's going to be great. We have 3 of the real hard games on neutral site, which is, I think, a real positive thing for us.
Jeff Judkins with us in Studio B. It is Women's Basketball Media Day on BYU Sports Nation. Let's look at that schedule. Games at Oklahoma and Norman, at Colorado State, Georgia neutral, Texas A&M neutral, Utah at home. What kind of challenge are you facing with this schedule?
Well, we're playing a top 5 team with Texas A&M, and then playing Oklahoma will be probably a top 12 on the road. We'll get them back next year at home, which will be great.
Nice.
Colorado State, as you look there, they have a great chance of winning their conference, and of course Utah State's got everybody back from last year. We will play the winner because we're going to win the game against Georgia. We'll play the winner out of Penn State and
Swag
and Northridge.
Okay.
Hawaii won their league, and we're playing them at BYU Hawaii, but it's still a great matchup. And then at Weber, we've always struggled with that. So hopefully we can come out on top with a lot of good games and hopefully get some good RPI, so that when we get to the end of the year, that we have a high enough RPI that we can get in the tournament if we don't win the tournament.
Coach, you just mentioned all of the opponents with some pretty good accomplishments the last year. Which of those opponents do you think is going to be the toughest for you guys?
You're saying preseason?
Mm-hmm.
I think Texas A&M will give us. They're really quick and pressured, and they saw how Louisville beat us up, so they're going to probably be like that. I think Georgia will be a really good test for us. The advantage is they got a new coach, and hopefully we can get them. And But I don't think I have a weak game. A lot of times you try to put in 2 or 3 games that are easy. We play Utah Valley the same night that the men do, and it's going to be a doubleheader, and it's kind of exciting. And Mark Pope comes back in, but Utah Valley and Kathy Nixon, that's a big game for them. It's like the Super Bowl of them. So we got to be ready to go.
When you something I want to ask, because I think this is really underrated right now with the BYU football team and going out and scheduling these big schools like Missouri and UCLA, especially within September. And I'm not 100% sure how much is factored in, or the injury is factored in. You're coming against a lot of teams that have these depths, and you just hope when you play one game to come out, or one of these teams to come out. But as just like the football team and your schedule, you're playing against these bigger schools. Is that something that is a concern for you guys?
Well, it's a concern playing really good teams, because you think, but the bottom line is when I recruit players, they want to play the best.
Yeah.
They want to play, and you heard the football guys say, we want to play the best schedule we can play. And I think that's what we're all aiming for here at BYU. We want to play a good enough schedule that we can do well and win and do it, but we want to play a good enough schedule that we can get on the map and people, can really recognize us. I think what people don't realize with BYU football is, Cincinnati's a good football team, okay? Eastern Carolina is a good football team. Yep. Connecticut is not as bad as they all thought they were. Mm-hmm. Wagner, but that was done, we all know, for reasons with scheduling. Missouri is a good team. I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to be able to really do that. And do you take the chance of losing a few games? Yeah, but I think that's what everybody wants.
Well, you bring that up, and you have to qualify success when you play that tough of a schedule. You want to win every game. You play to win every game. That's the competitive nature in coaches and players. But as you look at that 11-game non-conference schedule, 8 away from home, and all the opponents we just went through, where do you find success in that? I know you hate to put a number to that, but how many wins?
I would say
success?
Right now that if our team end up winning 9, losing 2 games, it would be outstanding. If we went undefeated,
you'd be in the top 10. We
would. We'd be up there. Yeah, we'd be up there. If we go 8-3, that's probably what I don't want is to be 6-5. Mm-hmm. Because the key for a good program is to win 20 games. That's in football it's 10. Mm-hmm. In basketball it's 20. And so you've got to win at least 7 or 8 games preseason to be able to do that.
Is there such a thing as a good 6-5? Meaning, even though you lose those 5 games, you're very competitive. Maybe you lose by 1 or 2.
Yeah, it is. If you ask me right now, I'd rather be 6-5 with a really good schedule than 11-0 and playing nobody. I really would. And I know a lot of people think I'm crazy, but that's to me playing top teams. And we have a hard time getting them. It's not like they all want to come over here and play. Let's go to BYU and play at Provo. They don't want to do it. And so you have to really kind of that's when you know you got a good team or you got a good program when people don't want to play you. Mm-hmm. Dave's going through that right now. I guarantee you, he tries to get other teams and they just can't. It just doesn't work. And I think football this year, this was exciting. I hope they can continue to get that schedule like that because I think people really. I mean, September went fast. Yeah. It really did play in that.
Halfway through the season.
I know it just went really fast, and now they can run the table hopefully and be able to be in a good situation for a good bowl game.
Okay, Coach, we're here to talk specifics about your team because it is BYU Women's Basketball Media Day. So where is the strength of this team? I know you bring back Lexi Eaton-Rydalch, and she's one of the all-time greats to ever shoot the basketball for BYU Women's Hoops. But where is the overall strength of your team?
I would say right now the guard line. I mean, I got my 3 starters coming back from there. Cassie Broadhead, who's been with me now for 3 years, is playing really well right now. And Christine Fuller or Nilsson now. We had 3 marriages this summer.
Everybody getting married.
Boy, I had a lot of wedding gifts, but she'll be a junior and she's got great experience, and I think that is really solid. I've got, Orton is now a junior, and this is her 4th year. I think she's going to really help us. Of course, I mentioned Purcell.
Yeah, Kaylani Purcell, yeah.
She's the real deal. She is really
out of New Zealand.
Yeah, she plays a lot like a lot of people remember, like Ambrosia Anderson, that kind of a player. Amanda Weymouth is coming on. I mean, she is coming in and done a really nice job. And these 3 freshmen are good. The bigs, they're good. And then Alohi is trying to do both again. She's playing real well right now. She's playing with a lot of confidence, and hopefully we can get her going.
Coach, how will the 4 10-minute quarters change your philosophy?
It's going to be different. It's going to be different.
You're getting excited. You're rubbing your hands,
I kind of like it because
smiling.
I kind of like it because now you got to play more clock. Like, do you go 2 for 1 at the end of the quarter? Do you on a timeout you get to advance the ball? You have to be more prepared for that, both offensively and defensively. I like the fouls. The thing I hated the most about women's game is too many fouls, too many foul shots. Now it's going to make it where it won't be as bad. It'll be more, the game will move better. So I'm excited because I played it in the pros. A lot of the other coaches haven't had that opportunity. So it'll be an adjustment, but I think it'll make our game a lot better.
Women's college basketball moving from 2 20-minute halves to 4 10-minute quarters. And like you said, it should create a new exciting dynamic in that game. As we look at now the concerns of your team, you talk about the strength of the guard line. So does that mean that your biggest concern now falls to the post and the inside play?
I mean, when you lose Morgan Bailey, who by the way right now is burning it up in Portugal. She got hurt, but she was averaging almost 30 a game.
Whoa.
And, playing really well. And then, of course, Jen is now playing overseas. I think she's in Russia. But, but we have more height this year. Last year I have more inside presence than I had last year, and that was a concern we had. We had Morgan, but I didn't have really a lot of experience. This year I've got a lot more height, and I can change things around, which I really like. So we'll see what happens. I mean, somebody's got to step it up. When a player like Morgan's caliber leaves, somebody else has got to come in and step it up, and maybe more players get maybe a little more opportunity to score. And so we'll see if that happens.
4 10-minute quarters playing in a newly renovated Marriott Center. Boom shakalaka on Friday, October 23rd. You get a good look at the BYU men's and women's basketball teams. We're talking with Jeff Judkins, the head coach. Let's end with this, and I want to go back to just head coaching philosophy overall, Coach. How do you handle your team when one of your stars is hobbled? Last year, BYU men's basketball dealt with this. Tyler Haws out for a couple of games. You lost Morgan for a few games. BYU football now wondering if Tanner Mangum, how much he's going to be able to do. What's the philosophy as you approach your team knowing that one of your stars is hurt?
Well, that's where you hope you have depth and you have somebody that can come in and fill in. The problem is with a lot of teams, that person comes in and fills in. So let's say you have a really good 6-man who can kind of play both positions, and you bring – now she starts, kind of like I did with Jo Jean. She starts. Well, now it's your depth after that, and that's a key. And I think my guard line right now, I feel pretty good about it. I have 3 players that can play it. Inside, I don't know yet. But I think if they can work hard and do it, I think I'll be all right. You don't want to lose Alexi Eaton or Kylie or McKenzie who've had experience and done all those. Those are key players, but coaches realize that injury is a part of the game, and you got to deal with it. You got to be able to, and that's where opportunities come. Opportunities come, and you got to be ready for it.
Coach, great to have you back in
Thanks,
studio,
Spence.
man. Jamming with Juddy. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go, man. It's exciting.
Okay.